Determination of crude fat content is a very important proximate analysis, especially for food and feed samples. This video represents the detailed and complete procedure of crude fat analysis. This method is valid only for solid samples. To analyze a sample for crude fat determination, we have to go through the 5 simple steps. Thimble preparation, sample preparation, fat extraction, taking final weight and calculation. To do the analysis, we need some apparatus and equipment, like balance machine, filter paper, cotton cellulose thimble and hot air oven. We also need the Sokslet apparatus or Sokslet extractor. To carry out the whole test we only need N-hexane or other anhydrous diethyl ether. Let's go for the analysis. Which the sample will be taken for testing. Firstly, take a square block of filter paper and make a narrow thimble with it by folding and wrapping. Now we have to prepare the sample. Solid sample should be ground and crushed before testing. Take 1 to 5 grams of homogenized sample into the previously prepared thimble. Sample weight varies depending on the expected fat percent. Note the sample weight. Place small amount of cotton into the thimble to cover the sample. Take a cleaned and dried flat bottom flask of Sokslet apparatus. Take the weight of the flask and note it down. Content from the sample using Sokslet apparatus. Add sufficient amount of N-hexane. Turn on the cold water circulation through the condenser. Finally run the apparatus. Proper reflux rate is very critical to the complete extraction of fat. That's why set the temperature in such a way that maintain the reflux rate of 5 drops per second. N-hexane is used as a solvent for fat which dissolves out the fat from the sample to the flask. The apparatus for 6 hours. After 6 hours of extraction, raise the thimble out of solvent and collect the wastage N-hexane in a glass bottle. Now distill the hexane or solvent again as much as possible from the flask to reclaim hexane or solvent and attain apparent dryness. Rotate the flask to evaporate the excess solvent or hexane. Now dry the flask in hot air oven at 110 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Take the final weight of flask with fat. You can see the flat layer at the bottom of the flask. To calculate the crude fat content, first of all we have to put some values in the right side of the board.